Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to the Green Lantern universe. I'm Ralph, and this is sort of a breaking news information that's come out about Lanterns, the HBO series, being delayed. Now, I first heard about this about a week ago from Will Smith, our good friend over at the Green Lanterns podcast. So if you want to get the full scoop, check that out over there. Here's the thumbnail art. Lanterns has been delayed until after Supergirl. So go check out Will. He's going to tell you everything you know and everything he knows and what he learned. Now, he's the one that got this information, and he's the one that's rolling with it. I saw that it was being shared on a lot of different outlets, but a lot of people are not crediting him. They're crediting Lantern Cast, which is fine. We love Chad and Mark over there and everybody at the crew of Lanterns Cast. But this was Will's work. A week ago, he sent me this email notification. It's a blast that went out from the Hollywood Reporter, from their brand known as Heat Vision. It's kind of their superhero newsletter that goes out to everybody. And basically what it says is, fall is in full swing and the summer of Superman is officially over. After months of seemingly nonstop DCU, the Peacemaker Season 2 finale hits next week. So again, this was October 3rd. And insiders are happy with the rollout, which has included its audience growing weekly and a strong 96% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Peacemaker Season 2 was terrific. And again, this is before the finale, so everyone was on like the highest of highs after that episode 7. It continues. The finale will mark the last of the Gunverse until we see June's Supergirl. So ever since we've been getting updates on Lanterns, it's been early 2026. That's all it says is early 2026. And this makes it sound like they completely forgot about Lanterns. And I discussed that with Will. And I asked him, I'm like, did they completely forget that Lanterns is going? Because again, the finale will mark the last of the Gunverse. We'll see until June's Supergirl. They then go on to talk about Clayface, which of course is being shot. That comes out, I believe, next October. So it feels like the Hollywood Reporter completely forgot about Lanterns, which, I mean, being a Lantern fan is not something that I appreciate. It feels like for the last, since probably 2011, Green Lantern has been swept under the rug, and here it seems like it's happening again. Will, being Will, reached out to the Hollywood Reporter. And again, you could see all of this on his channel. I'm just going to give you the clip notes and we're going to have a discussion about it here. Will reached out. Will's actually in the live chat. Thanks for joining me. Watching from a plane on the way to Los Angeles. Yeah, he's heading my way. We're hoping to get together and go head up that John Stewart statue in Burbank. Just because I think, if he's over here, I'm in Anaheim, I'm pretty close to that area. So we got to meet up. We got to talk about this. So here's the thing. Will reached out to I believe, the writer of the article and the Hollywood Reporter. And they basically said that they did not forget about Lanterns. Lanterns did not get forgotten. So they believe that they have, as far as they know, the correct information that Lanterns is actually going to have to happen after Supergirl. Now, recently I did an episode where I talked about Lanterns being next, because as soon as Peacemaker was done the following week, I talked about how excited I was that Lanterns was going to be the next DCU project. And I mentioned that, we haven't gotten a lot of news out of it, and that if they wanted to start rolling this thing out, they wanted to get to it no later than I want to say May around May 1st, that would give them 8 weeks into the lead up of Supergirl. So we're hoping every time anyone says it's early 2026, that's what we're hoping. It wouldn't be any later than May 1st, because 8 weeks after that would be Supergirl. And we know that Lanterns is 8 episodes. Now comes this sort of news that's circulating that started with Will about it showing up after Supergirl. And it got me thinking, like, well, as a Lantern fan, I've been waiting since 2011 to see some real, like, juicy Green Lantern stuff on the screen. But people didn't care for the 2011 Ryan Reynolds film. Well, it wasn't his film. It was Martin Campbell's film. But they didn't care for it. Ryan Reynolds has been nothing but shitty about Green Lantern ever since. He even put it in 2 Deadpool movies, which, like, dude, like, come on, let it go. So, like, Green Lantern hasn't really been in the public conscious for a while. And as Lantern fans know, it's been a long, like 15 years waiting for the return. And we were lucky enough to get a really great performance out of Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner in Superman, James Gunn, and that team really created something special with Guy Gardner that showed the public that, you know, like, Green Lantern isn't a joke. Like, Green Lantern's pretty cool, but I do like that he picked Guy Gardner to be in the movie, because Guy Gardner is kind of a joke. So it's like almost like James Gunn was like, hey, listen, here's a Green Lantern that's actually a joke, so we can laugh about it. But just wait, and you'll see what real Green Lanterns are like with the show Lanterns. Now, James Gunn, a lot of people say they're tired of seeing him constantly on their feeds. He's doing way too much promotion for the DCU, which I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of the DCU, and I can't get enough of James Gunn's enthusiasm for what he has planned for the DCU. And he's really transparent when it comes to things. So, like, we knew all kinds of stuff going into Superman. He was constantly talking about it. He has a whole podcast about Peacemaker where he just spilled the beans on every episode after the Peacemaker episodes aired. So he was always giving out information, always. And then you have this Lantern show, which he's not really super involved with as much as these Peacemaker and Superman. So he's not giving up that information, which kind of sucks, because it's like, being a Lantern fan, it's the one thing that I want all the information for. And we've gotten so little since February. And so now, with, like, the continuing, like, secrecy of the show Lanterns, like, it's just like us fans are now the ones that are just, like, scraping and clawing to get any information. And it sucks that this is we know more stuff about the Man of Tomorrow, which comes out in like a year and a half. We've seen more set pictures of Clayface than we have of Lanterns. Lanterns, we still have the one image. There are some set pictures that were leaked, but I mean, none of them even show like a Lantern outfit. The Aaron Pierce stuff we've seen behind the scenes hasn't had him with a ring on. It showed him with a gun, which means he doesn't have a ring. We've seen Hal Jordan with a ring in the one image, but that's the one image. And like, that dude's walking down a road, which means his Lantern ring isn't charged. So we are stuck speculating. So I'm super happy that Will, who is in the chat, I'm so happy that he kind of got to the bottom of this, because it sounds like it is going to be delayed. We haven't heard anything from DC Studios or HBO or anything since this has gone down, either confirming or denying it. So we know either way. We don't know either way if they're being delayed or not. This is all purely based on what the Hollywood Reporter believes and the information that Will got. So if it is delayed, let's talk about it. I'm going to be bummed. You know I'm going to be bummed because I'm itching to get this show like out there. I want to see the show so bad. Cloned Avengers here. He says, saw the Green Lantern in theaters. I thought it was a decent start, but left much on the table. I was really disappointed we never got a second film, really hoping this new series delivers. Me too. And again, it's been 14 years. We're coming up on 15 years of no Green Lantern live action stuff, other than like Stargirl, and some want to believe that Diggle wants that. In Arrow was going to be John Stewart. Doesn't matter. I want Green Lantern. And I love Nathan Fillion, but he was a fairly minor character in Superman. I'm ready for more. So if it is delayed, I'm bummed because I'm like itching for any sort of second image. I want to see what the uniforms look like. I want to see a trailer. Like and if it's delayed and it's pushed to like, after Supergirl, which would be like late July, August, and so on. Like I'm super bummed. That makes me bummed. But there is some sort of a little bit of hope. There's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to that. There's a couple of reasons that I think it could be delayed. One is they need to fix it. It could be bad. The show could be bad and they need to fix it. And so that's why it may no longer happen early in 2026, which sucks. Will has information. He said he followed up with DC Studios themselves, and they answered one part of my email about the delay, and they did not comment on. Okay, so they didn't really respond to Will. So the thing is, it could be bad. The show could be bad, and they could be fixing or scrambling to fix whatever the issues are. Ever since it was announced that Tom King, Chris Mundy, and Damon Lindelof were working on the show, I had high hopes, especially with Damon Lindelof. I've been following him since Lost. I did a whole documentary about Lost that he's in. And so I'm a fan of Damon. I'd love to have Damon on the show. Damon, if you're watching, reach out. Let's chat, because I just want to know about like your love of Green Lantern. So with that sort of pedigree on the show, I was like, okay, this has a team behind it that can make it really good. So I'm hoping that it's not a delay because it's bad. We've had HBO execs saying that Lanterns is like on par with like the Penguin as far as quality goes. Now, if it is delayed, and it is true, because I know like actors have said that the script is like the best sci-fi thing they've ever read. HBO execs have said it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that it's up to like Penguin level quality. And so I'm wondering if that's the case, if they're not delaying it to put it at the end of the year for Emmy consideration, have it fresh in people's mind so that it gets nominated for Emmys. Maybe it's just that good. Maybe it's good enough where they're like, you know what? We have effects to finish. We don't want to have a really good show squandered due to poor visual effects. And I'm thinking with HBO and the sort of effects that they put into Peacemaker, especially with like Eagly and having Weta work on the animals for James Gunn, I'm hoping that they're able to come in and sort of work on Lanterns to make sure that everything looks good. I went on IMDb, which is unreliable. Not sure if any of the visual effects people listed on IMDb also work for Weta, but Weta is top tier. They do, the Lord of the Rings, obviously, the Peter Jackson's films, and they've done like they're like up there with ILM. So I'm hoping that whatever the delay is to ensure the best show possible. I don't want to wait anymore. We've been dealing with the one image of Hal and John walking down the road in Nebraska since February. Listen, if you guys want to like announce a date If DC wants to announce a date, if HBO wants to announce a date, and if they say it's in August or September or October or even after Clayface, that's fine. Give us a second image. Stop. Stop. Just give us just anything. Give us some official word. Don't just give us an official word. Will brings up that he doesn't think it's bad. He thinks that HBO controls the TV schedule, not DC Studios, so it's up to HBO to pick when it airs. But I feel like they should be working with James Gunn and DC Studios to make sure that everything's falling in line, especially when James Gunn mentions that Salvation, which was the big cliffhanger in Peacemaker Season 2, Salvation was going to be part of Lanterns. Now, is this Salvation thing something that came late to the game in Lanterns? Is it something that came after Lanterns was done being wrapped? Are they trying to figure out a way to get that into James Gunn's overarching view of what the DCU is? I don't know. But I think that the more time we have, I hope the better the show can be. I'm really hoping this isn't something where it's just fucked up. It's fucked up beyond repair and they need more time and they refuse to give us a release date because they don't know when it's going to be fixed. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely be doing more streams like this as news comes in. Any sort of breaking news happening with Lanterns, I'll be there to cover it. So don't miss out. Hit the bell icon, subscribe. Will says Lanterns is going to be a big Sunday night show. It has to line up at the time when HBO needs. Don't forget that Gunn released Superman on streaming early because of the release date of Peacemaker. But Peacemaker was a Thursday show. If it's a Sunday show, then I'm going to have to do live streams on Sunday nights, right after the air, or maybe I'll do a Monday morning. But I kind of want to get on here right as they happen because I have the ability to go live at a moment's notice. You saw that today. So make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified when I'm going live, because from now on, you'll never know I'm going live unless it's one of my weekly scheduled live streams. So stick around. Thank you for watching. See you next time. And as always, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.